Sherry and
Olivia.
We are today making one of our favorite comfort foods, which is potato soup. We've been home for a couple weeks for the quarantine and social distancing, and it's been pretty brutal actually. We like getting outside and doing things, and today's like a rainy day. It's not too cold, which is good for Michigan, but we're stuck inside, so this is a fun way for us to actually get up and do our hair and feel kind of normal, and we're glad that you're joining us. So in this recipe, we're gonna cook everything in the Instant Pot, which is easy for cleanup. One pot. We're gonna use 5 potatoes. We're gonna use 1 large onion diced, 2 carrots, or about 1 cup of carrots, and 2 stalks of celery, or actually 4 stalks of celery. Now normally we like to put in leeks because leeks and potatoes go so good together, but since it's quarantine cooking, we didn't feel like risking our life to go out and find a leek, so we're good without it. And you can substitute any of these. If you don't want to put bacon in for the calories, you don't have to, but we love the bacon in it and we like cheese in it. It also calls for, this is 5 slices of bacon, 6 cups of chicken broth, and 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of ground white pepper. We're also going to put some garlic in, 2 cloves of garlic, chopped. We just use this kind because it's so much easier than doing it yourself. And at the end, we're going to put some half and half and cheddar cheese into the soup. So let's get started. Since the bacon takes a long time to cook, I'm going to start the Instant Pot. I just hit saute. It almost becomes like a little frying pan, and I'm going to cut up 5 pieces of bacon, and we always get the center cut. I don't know, it's just the best. I always love it. And I'm just gonna cut up 5 pieces of bacon. I like to use kitchen scissors for cutting a lot of different meats and things, and it makes these makes the bacon into the perfect slices, because it's kind of just like a bacon bits that you're gonna put on the top of your soup and a little bit on the inside. So we're gonna cook these until they're super crispy. So the bacon is cooked really crispy. I just turned the Instant Pot off, the saute button off. I'm gonna take all this bacon out and let it drain on paper towels so it stays crispy. And once it's all clean, I'm going to leave 1 tablespoon of the bacon drippings, like the fat, in the Instant Pot to add flavor to the soup. And the bottom of the pan is nice and deglazed. Now we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. So the onions took about 6 minutes. This garlic we're gonna cook with the onions for about 2 minutes. That'll give your soup a lot of flavor. So that's been cooking for about 2 minutes. Now we're gonna add the celery and carrots, and since this is quarantine cooking, we did not find a leek at the store, but normally a leek is really delicious in this soup. It's like a mild onion flavor. It goes really good with potatoes. We just didn't have one. So the carrots and the onions and the celery have been cooking for another 2 to 3 minutes, and we're gonna add the potatoes. And they've been chopped up about the same size you would do if you were making mashed potatoes, because you're gonna mash this up anyway, so we like them to be a little bit small. So now we're gonna turn the saute button off hit cancel. And Olivia's gonna add the rest of the spices, which is white pepper and salt. So this soup calls for 6 cups of chicken broth. And if you go to the stores during this quarantine, it's really hard to find everything that you want. And we just started using bouillon cubes. I'm just going to mix it with 2 cups of boiling water from the teapot to turn it into broth. And then we'll add the rest of the water after these dissolve. It just saves money, and it's a good way to find a substitute for what you normally get at the store. And now she's gonna add in 6 cups of chicken broth. So this is 2 cups, and we added all 6 bouillon cubes to this batch, and we're just gonna keep going until we get to 6 cups of water to make up the difference. So that's 4. And 6. So now everything's mixed together. We're gonna put the lid on. You can hear it locks when it makes that noise. I'm gonna set this little lever to sealing and not venting. Venting just means all the steam comes out, so we want to build pressure in there. Now I'm going to put it on pressure cook, and you only have to cook this for 8 minutes, which is what makes the Instant Pot so much faster than on the stove, which is the way we used to make this all the time. So you just hit pressure cook and 8 minutes, and it will come up to temperature. That takes about 10 minutes, I would guess. And then it will cook for 8 minutes. We'll come back and we'll do a quick release.
We like to grate our cheese to get healthier and fresher cheese, so I'm going to grate the cheese and then measure it out to get 1 cup of cheese. Now that we have 1 cup of cheese, I'm going to grate a little extra cheese to go on top of the bowls once the soup's done.
So the soup is done cooking. We hit cancel on the Instant Pot, and now we're just going to move that lever to venting instead of sealing. Inside the Instant Pot, I'm going to remove about 1/4 of the soup to leave these big chunks because it makes the soup more hearty. It gives it a nice texture. So it doesn't make a mess, you just submerge these little holes in the top of the soup. Push it down. Bring it up a little. Push it down. We're gonna hit saute so that this soup comes to a boil. You can see that after the emulsion blender, it's really creamy. It has maybe a couple little bits of potatoes in there, carrots. But we're gonna bring it back to a boil, and we're gonna add in 1/2 a cup of half and half, and that will make it creamy potato soup.
Okay, once you brought your soup back to a boil, you're gonna add your half and half in. Oh, you're gonna stir it. And now you're gonna add in your cheese.
So we're just gonna add 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese.
Now you're gonna hit cancel on your Instant Pot.
And once it's all stirred up and the cheese is melted, make sure all the cheese is melted. We're gonna re-add in the rest of the potatoes that we held back earlier. Perfect. Now the soup is done. Everything's mixed back in. As you can see, it is really hearty. It is definitely comforting, especially on a rainy day like we have today. So now we will dish it up. Is this one of your favorite soups, Olivia?
Yes.
Yes. So this is the loaded potato soup from the Instant Pot, and we just use different toppings to go on top. Things that you would put on a loaded baked potato are usually really, really good. I think we pretty much have everything here. Chives, sour cream, bacon, cheese. Anything you can think of that you would put on a baked potato, you can put on top. So Olivia's gonna show you how she likes to eat her soup.
I like to get a lot of cheese. Just put like a lot of cheese on there. You get bacon. And then chives.
Well, we just want to thank you for joining us today. We're thinking about everybody so much during this self-quarantine time and social distancing. It's really hard for us. There's so many people that we miss, and our neighbors can be outside and we can't even really hang out. And I know everyone's in the same boat. So this is a really fun way to reach out and see you guys. And we are really thrilled to be having one of our comfort foods today. So if you could just put in the comments what's your favorite comfort food, and we can check it out. We would love to see that. We are thinking about you, and hopefully we'll see you again with another recipe. Thanks for joining us.